Hey, what up, everyone? This is Ferdbird the Nerd doing a Monday morning show. It feels like Sunday, but I know it's Monday. So I appreciate you all coming through and supporting us today. We have a little bit of a different lineup today. Just me, Darth Lopez, and I'm about to send a link to Fedora. I didn't think he was going to come through today, but I guess he's here. I'm back from vacay. It was a nice little 7 days kind of romp. But yeah, man. I have a little bit of an announcement. I know we're only 30 seconds into the show, and there's not a ton of people that are going to show up today, but that's all good. We're gonna do a kind of a special episode later today, or sorry, later this Thursday. I'm gonna put like a little link on it for sure, and then I'm also going to kind of promote it on the Instagram. But we all love drama, or some of us love drama. There aren't a ton of shows that do like a ton of drama or whatnot, but Darth Lopez wanted to throw his hat in the ring, and you may have seen his posts on Instagram and whatnot. But he's gonna do a little something different on Thursday. I think we're doing it 5:00 Pacific time, 5:30. I'll put up the links and all that stuff later. But
prime time hours.
Hopefully we don't go into any shows or whatnot. But it's all in good fun. I think.
Yes, sir.
What me and Darth were kind of talking about in the background is we're not really calling anyone out. We're just kind of what did I say? Tom Brokaw in the
yeah. We're gonna do that's it. We're gonna break it down. We're just gonna break down all the fisticuffs that these content creators have been going through. I think it's great. I think it's entertaining. I mean, so we're just gonna break it down, and I'm gonna do a top 10 on them because there's been that many. A lot of small channels have been mentioned, mid-sized channels been mentioned, big channels, or guys in the comic book community have been doing this for a while. And if there was a Hall of Fame of comic book content, I think a lot of these dudes would be on there, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you've been kind of taking notes and kind of putting little tea leaves out there and
little teasers, man, just little teasers,
little teasers here.
Yeah, just you know what I mean. Hey, bro, look. You look. Is it cloud chasing and whatever? You can call it how you want to call it. It's fun. Yeah, and these guys are having fun. The community is kind of having fun, and these are heavyweights that have been going at it. I mean, look at these guys.
For
these
sure,
guys have been doing this for a while.
Yeah,
and they've come under fire by their peers. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. And I was part of Renovision when that top 10 was going on.
For sure.
I mean, Thorough carries a lot of weight. Jim Mint carries a lot of weight. These dudes carry some weight, so we're just gonna break down their beat. It's not beat. We're just gonna break down their fisticuffs. That's all. I'm gonna rank it. You know what I mean? It's gonna be fun.
Everybody was like, "Oh, you talk about drama, blah blah," but we're not saying anything bad. We just, y'all just discussing the top 10.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of I got a point system on it. You know what I mean? I got a point system on it, so it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
And it looks like Jem Mint. I mean, he's like, here's your pine. So I mean, he's definitely a heavy hitter for sure. So you got the lightsaber. Got the lightsaber. It's out, man.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Jem Mint is the Shohei Ohtani of fucking drama in the comic book community. Him and what's that girl? Oh, why don't you put the girl that swindled everybody with the counterfeit books? Her versus the community.
Who's that? That's different. That's like that's kind of not what I'm doing. I'm doing like comic book content guys with comic book content guys, right?
Okay, fair enough.
You know what I mean? I'm not like any
you should do top 10 scandals.
Top 10 scandals.
Yeah,
and this might be a one-time thing. It might be like an every month thing. I don't know, but it's gonna be Thursday. It's like 100% Darth Lopez's shtick.
That's his thing.
All the credit to him on this idea. I thought when he talked to me about it, I was like, well, it's not really my expertise, but it sounds like it's all in good fun and shit, man. I mean, like all we talk about is money and like speculation, all that stuff. This just kind of cracks me up. So we'll just see how it goes. So
I wanna vote Nerdy Girl for the most controversial figure in the comic book community. So that's my vote. If y'all do another list, nerdy girl, keep doing your thing.
We will see. We will see. But yeah, again, it's going to be this Thursday. I'll kind of promote the times and stuff, and if we get 5 people watching live or 15, that'll be fun. And we'll just see. We'll see what
I'm putting my vote in for Bueller versus that other guy Brian.
Yeah, that happened live.
Yeah, you see, it happened live.
And what's funny is I even watched that, man. I'm not into that stuff. Yeah, but I was like, shit, I've never seen that shit live before, so that was kind of cool.
I'm not really picking winners. I don't want to be biased. I just
winners.
Yeah, go ahead, feel free. Like it'll be open for discussion. Me myself, I'm gonna just break it down how they, you know what I mean? How they went at each other. Because some of it was a little aggressive. But we'll break it down Thursday, man. We'll
just little tidbits here, but yeah, we'll kind of go through it again later in the show. But happy Labor Day weekend, everyone. I hope you guys aren't working too hard out there. I
got the day off.
Good.
The comic shop is open though, so
vape is too damn expensive. I saw a lot of vape on the cruise this weekend, but
bro, I went to the vape store for the first time in New York City, right? Because I went to the Supreme store. I bought a bunch of stuff. And then I was gonna buy some sneakers from the Supreme store, but I was like, you know what? Let me just check out what vape is like. Bruh, it's $300 for a pair of fucking sneakers that were essentially like a duplicate of Dunks. And I'm like, not that I don't mind spending $300 on sneakers, don't get me wrong, because I got it. But at the same time, it's like, bro, like nobody even wears vape like that anymore. So for me to like spend $300 just to flex on something that nobody cares about like that anymore is silly. And the quality of vape is not even all that. Bro, it was $300 for a fucking crew neck. Like, what the fuck in your fucking bumfuck town do you think you fucking guys can be charging $300 for ugly ass fucking crew neck? Yo, Fred, I swear to God, I'm not even joking, Fred. I saw a homeless man wearing vape last week, and I put it on Instagram. That's where vape is at on the totem pole right now. Homeless people is wearing it. So if you think you're gonna charge me $300 for something I saw a fucking homeless person wear the other day, you're out of your fucking mind. And the quality is not as good as Supreme, and it's double the price. So fuck you, vape. Get your shit together. That's why you're fucking becoming irrelevant, because everything you fucking do is a fucking copy of somebody else.
My God. All right. All right, there we go. Put vape in the ring there.
I still wear Dickies and Levi's. I don't even know.
Hey, listen, Dickies is coming.
I just wear Jinkos. That's all I wear is Jinkos.
Junkos is coming up in the game. Dickies is coming back. No, I swear, there's a lot of like Gen Z people wearing Junkos. I was like, what the fuck?
I know.
Why y'all looking crazy with that?
Long time ago.
All right. What was I gonna say? All right. Well, there's your fashion update from Fedora on street clothing. I'm a Givenchy guy myself, but I guess we'll get into comic books. So yeah. So I feel like
so many ratios. Wait, hold on. Just to Commander Cody, bro. They got so many ratios in the back. Like it's ridiculous how many ratios they got over there. They're just trying to offload them at some point. I hope one of them gets hot though. Yeah, I paid for the Punisher 218 ratio for like $10 back when nobody was speculating on it on the Midtown Comic sale. So some of them do be hitting. So you could possibly get something cool. Anyways,
no, it's all good. That'd be like an interesting kind of thing, like a shout to SpeccMedia, like kind of a buy the dip or buy on the sale, kind of like diamond in the rough type thing. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so I don't have a ton of books today. I know I said I had like 10, but I just could not find 10 that I felt I want to talk about. But yeah, just a short little Labor Day weekend. I want to get everyone back to their Labor Day festivities, shopping, all that good stuff. So we'll get into it. These books are like, I don't know, man. Like I think these are, I wouldn't say dollar bin fodder, but just like if you're expecting to make money on these books, don't don't do it. I mean, that's just kind of my thing. So we'll see. We'll see what you guys all think about this. I can't find anyone who buys poo books. I can't either, but I guess I kind of agree with you on that one. So first book up here.
I bought the Winnie the Pooh Demon Slayer, Demon Hunter book that came out. I don't know.
Like the Marat ones? Is that
Nah, it was an Arctic Press.
I
thought it was so silly. And I was like, this is hilarious.
I wonder if Doc Joe was talking about like the Do You Poo books.
Oh, who the fuck buys those, bro?
What is that? Winnie the Pooh? Like a knockoff of Winnie the Pooh or something?
What, Do You Poo?
Yeah, I don't even know.
Yo, I would like to beef with the person who invented that. I would like to beef with him. That fucking rat. Put that in the beef, Darth Lopez.
All right. First book. This is a tough one. New Avengers number 7. First appearance of the Illuminati. This book popped off during the Doctor Strange trailer, the most recent one. And I feel like this is a book that kind of started the beginning of the comic book, correction, if you will. I don't think it was a drop, but a correction. Last one I saw sold a 9.8 for $50. I would not reinvest in this book. I mean,
wait, a 9.8 sold for $50?
For $50.
I would if I was the person who bought that for $700 on the Super Bowl trailer, I would just walk into the street and let a bus hit me.
Wait, somebody bought one of these in 9.8 for $700?
Yes, the day of the Super Bowl release. Yo,
I sold mine for $550 when I.
Good job. Good job. Hey, that's what it's about, man.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
And it was,
man. I mean,
I literally listed it the second the Super Bowl ad came out, so it was like a Sunday for like at 5:30 or whatever time it was, and I set it for $1, and it ended up just exploding. You guys all know what happened. I mean, even if the Illuminati comes back, I mean, who really cares? I mean, I think the only thing that could really pop this book up again is if like a new Professor X is part of the Illuminati and that kind of thing. But I wouldn't. I mean, you're going to be waiting years for that to happen if it even happens. Whoever bought that is buying poo books, probably, man.
That's gotta hurt. Jesus.
Just something that I would never reinvest in. It's a cool, like the series was cool. So I guess if you're a fan of New Avengers, like I'm not mad at that. But
you know what? I got a bunch of it. I just haven't gotten around to reading it.
It's one of my favorite, if not my favorite Avengers run. It was just. I mean, Bendis wrote it.
You got a better chance of one of those poo books popping off.
Probably. So I think we're all in consensus that we do agree. I want to pay $50 for a 9.8 for this book. It's just, it's
$50 is good. So. Like $50 for a 9.8. $50 for a 9.8 in any market is great.
Sure, it's a good point. It's a good point too. They're not even on the cover though, which is like I always thought was kind of sucks about this book is like there's more of a concentration on the Sentry than there is on the actual Illuminati in this book. So,
do you think if they were on the cover, do you think it'd be like people would
$50 more?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Probably, right? Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, if they were on the cover, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Jessica Drew's the front girl on this one. So another fan favorite of the show, Darth. Wow. I think me, myself, and Fedora and Pickels have just hated on this book like just ad nauseum. I have a personal hatred for this book myself. What is your thoughts on this book?
Yeah. Well, this was FOMO at its finest when this came out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand the spec. I mean, what spec? I don't even.
Fedora, do you want to explain? Do you know the spec on this, or what is your take on the spec on this?
Just a variant, right?
No, the spec was that the Captain Carter from the Disney show was going to be integrated into the comics, and people were like, "Oh, Captain Carter is coming to they're going to integrate her to the MCU." I mean, not the MCU.
The main. Yeah. Okay, you're right. Yeah, I remember now.
And but then Ferd was like, "But she's already in the Exiles," and then everybody was like, "But no, that's not the real Captain Carter. That's just a variant." And then they're like, "But that's the first appearance of Captain Carter in the Exiles. That's the only one. This is just a variant." But the argument was that this is the first appearance of a variant in the multiverse that they're gonna push because of the MCU. But then Ferd's argument was like, this is ridiculous because they already have one, and it wouldn't make sense to use two that are almost exactly nearly identical. And I guess he was right because they never used her again.
And supposedly, I mean, like, even if they did, right, Fedora, like, I feel like this has the Agatha effect where, you know, Agatha has a new show coming up. There's announcements, there's trailers, for God's sakes. The book didn't move.
I don't even know who Agatha is.
Agatha Harkness, you know, she's got a new series coming out. And that was the argument for this book and the Exiles 3 book. I had two arguments kind of poo-pooing both books. One, the market, obvious because of prices, the market said Exiles 3 was the first appearance because it went for more dollars, and the variant did by far.
The Rose and the Riveter variant, right?
Yeah, there's that one, and there's like another variant, right? My second point was, so what if she has an MCU show? Captain Carter is not a mainstay character. She's been around the MCU for like a decade. So, are we boring you, Doc Joe, or are you just bored in general? I hope we're not boring you, man.
He's going hunting.
Okay, good. You're not a loser. You're not a loser in my book. Agatha show is a waste of time. Yeah. It looks like
you know what? It looks good. It looks. I know, man. I'm in. I'm all in.
I'm actually.
I like that actress. See, I think
she's
like
funny.
That.
She's funny.
Yeah.
She just doesn't push comic books. I think that's the thing. Like,
yeah, this was the push comic books you just said.
No, I'm just saying, like, Agatha. I don't like this character is not gonna push comic books.
No,
but she might do well in this show.
Yeah.
There's two things you have to watch out for with investing in comic books, right? Like, just because someone shows up doesn't mean that it's an automatic like win, right? Just because a show is like really good also can mean that's not an automatic win. You just might not gravitate. Girls. So, what's that?
Paper Girls.
I'm gonna stand on my soapbox and I'm gonna say Spec is dead. I'm gonna say it's the time of the past. I'm gonna say readers speculate. Like, that's what I've always tried to do. I mean, like, I remember this book was what, 150, 200 maybe when it came out.
I sold one for $1.25 raw.
These were
sale.
I mean, this character, where was it going to go? Nowhere.
Well, so supposedly there's like a series coming out for her. So, but
then it's self-contained. It's not even in the main Marvel comic book timeline. So it's
still, I mean, this book came out in 2022, which is even crazier, right? It was 2 years ago, and all it's done is done this. And I know a lot of books have done that too, but I just don't think it's going to come up. But
there was a second print of this, and they called it a root. And I think I got a mini double up. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, there was a lot of prints of this book because like this book was also printed at nauseum. And anyway, so all right, next book. Fedora favorite, Black Panther 3.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ!
The greatest Marvel troll ever. This book was ridiculous. And I feel sorry for anybody that fell for it. And I sold like 10 of them.
This is the crazy. I forgot who messaged me during the pandemic, but I knew a dude. He messaged me and he got like 2 copies for like $50 a piece, right?
Oh.
And he FOC'd them and all that. And he messages me and he's like, "Hey Ferd, like, should I list this? I don't know. I have this like hype I have all this hype on the character, and like at this point, I'd watched a bunch of Whatnot shows, and it was just before the Friday of the book coming out.
Yeah.
And I remember he goes, I think I get 600 for it. I go, you're a fucking nut job if you think you're gonna like make 1,200 on a raw, whatever. Sell that son of a bitch.
This book?
It was the third
variant?
the variant, the 1 in 20 of Tosin or Torin Clark. He ended up giving $750 for it.
Well done.
On Instagram. And he was torn about selling that for $750.
Oh my God, bro.
There was on a Whatnot show. Somebody sold one for $1,200 on a Whatnot show.
Yeah, that was all over Instagram.
Yeah.
Bro, I walked into my LCS and I put it on Instagram. You know, receipts always. I walked into my LCS and I look up and I'm like,
Yeah, I actually
I
bought
didn't even,
one.
dude. I was like, hey, this is my old. He's like, oh, what's up? Oh, that's a nice variant, Jim. Let me get
Yeah,
that.
it's a nice variant.
D.
It's
Yeah, it's like, oh,
definitely
$30. I'm
it's a
like,
very
cool.
nice variant, right?
Then I went up and snatched up 3 of the cover A's and then the other ones, and then I drove all through, you know, the Chicago area and Northwest Indiana and found a couple of them
Yeah,
and some Sortmaster, because this was around the time of Sortmaster hype too, if I
sure.
remember correctly.
Yeah,
Those are beautiful. The fun days of hunting, man. I didn't hesitate. I think I cleared over $500 in eBay fees off the 1 in 25.
dude. Yeah, and so I remember I bought one for $250. I gave him to the FOMO, and
Oh,
it had a little tiny like a little tiny crease at the bottom left hand corner. So I pressed it out, sent to CGC. I did I think I was sitting like 25 books at a time at that point, and I had
Damn.
4 of these 9.8s. Right, they all came back 9.8. I ended up flipping the 1 in 25 for like 800.
yes, sir.
And
That's
I was
what.
like, I just wanted to get out, just see
Yeah.
kind of play the
Predatory.
market a little bit, right? And that was kind of like, obviously, what you said, that was the fun days of Whatnot, that was the fun days of whatever. I don't think this book is ever gonna even get close to those numbers.
Over.
The market's kind of talked about this as well. $12.38 for a raw sale. Yeah, $12.38. I don't know why it's 38 cents. $75 for a 9.8 of this copy. I did see a Torin Clark 1 in 25 go for about $250, $300, which I still think is way too much for this book.
This was the greatest troll ever, bro. Just because of that article on what
I was
CBR
gonna,
or whatever.
I was just like, look.
Go ahead, kill him. Kill it.
All I'm gonna say is, don't expect to ever see that character used in any capacity for a very long time.
Never.
It wasn't one of those characters that was meant to blow up. They had just put him in the story, and and then people just ran with it, and just take it from me, somebody that knows people and speaks to people, and you could take what I say with whatever. But same thing, like I said with Gwenpool. Same thing, like I said with because even then, we spoke about Gwenpool. Remember the last week, a few shows ago, and then they put and I was just like, hey man, don't spec on Gwenpool. It ain't gonna happen. And then what was it, just this week on the FOC show, or not the FOC show? What's this app Key Collector? The first appearance of Gwenpool was on Nick's pick, just because she had a skin in Fortnite, and I'm like, yo, you guys are just so fucking lost, bro. Gwenpool, Tosin, those characters aren't going to be used ever again. They're shifting focus on the main guys now. They're trying to build off of them. Homegirl in the Hulk story, the little girl in the Hulk story. This homegirl in the
I still have all that. I still have one of that.
Those are good stories. Homegirl from Ghost Rider, Talia Warroad. Those are characters you should be speculating on. Characters that are in fucking entire runs, not a character that shows up for 4 or 5 issues and then disappears and then comes back here and there.
And then his girlfriend has better powers than he does.
Yeah,
which I thought was even weirder. So yeah, I know someone who was specking hardcore on that girl, by the way, but I won't name names anyway. All right, on the next book. Yeah, I mean, this is just the top. This is what they call the top of comic book speculation.
This is that was the pandemic darling.
Yeah. And everybody, hey man, and it was fun to see everybody capitalize, bro.
Wasn't that the same year that the Ultimate Fallout 4 Acetate shit came? After a couple months later.
Yeah, which will be covered in our top 10 comic book content fisticuffs. I don't want to call it beef, because beef, that's a strong word. You know what I mean?
That was the community versus CGC.
Dude, no, well, yeah, CGC and some, I don't like calling them influencers, bro. YouTube personalities, I guess.
Those guys aren't influencers; they're fucking culture vultures. what I will say for an off topic, CGC, the Pokemon community is not happy with CGC these days. Yeah, I'll tag you in some of the posts, but there's like a lot of like people are like, oh, what the hell are you doing, CGC? Because some body who worked for Pokemon was like, oh, I have these beta cards, and then they sent it to grade through CGC, and CGC just graded them, and then now everybody's just like, what the fuck? But anyways, Daredevil 9.
Bendis. You know, the only thing I read from Bendis, I believe, was that DC character he created.
Naomi.
Yeah, yeah.
That was pretty good.
It was entertaining, bro. And then
I felt like he missed the boat with making it a miniseries. I think he should have just kept going.
Right.
Like whenever a character that's new, that's like so universal, or like that's so like so much marketing and all that. Like I hate miniseries, man. Like just keep reading it. Just keep writing. I mean, like it was a fun little like, you know, whatever. But I wonder how much money that guy makes.
I think that they just
Bendis
really didn't know what to do with her.
Yeah. Commander Cody says, Darth, read that DD run. So, you know, I watched. To me, this is an example of good show, bad spec. Daredevil 9, obviously, this is the first appearance of Echo. I thought that was a really fun series. I thought it did really well in introducing like a different kind of grittier side of the MCU. If you guys haven't watched it, it's obviously on Disney Plus, but I watched it on Hulu.
I watched it.
I think people are still kind of bullish on her or this book as a nice book to have, because $89.99 for a 9.4. I mean, that's pretty high for a 9.4 in general of an older book. The art's beautiful on this book. I think what really would have popped this book would be to have Echo on the cover. She's on number 10, obviously, but you know, I'm not going to talk about pandemic prices on this, but yeah, there was a lot of hype for Echo, and I think the hype, as far as writing was good. However, it just didn't translate to the comic book community. You're gonna say something, Darth?
Yeah, dog. I think it was hype and hate. I think a lot of content in that bubble of this community they were turning phase 4. It wasn't this because they announced the show somewhere around the time of phase 4, and then it became Who Wants an Echo show. Like I think this phase 4, a lot of people in the community, and you know, the pandemic and all that, whatever, right, wasn't feeling phase 4, and this character was coming from that.
Yeah, I
enjoyed the show. I would have liked it to be a bit more rough, a bit more badass. I don't know. They kind of held back a little bit, but overall, I enjoyed it, and I want more. You know what I mean? I really hope we see her in the and it has nothing to do with spec or comic book. I just like, dude, what if they made her a mutant? I love mutants, so it's like, man, dude, if they just made her a mutant and combined it all with Miss Marvel and just go all in on any mutant that's in our current MCU would have been badass. But that's asking for too much. But I wasn't specking on it as a book, just a character. But it did get a lot of hate.
Yeah, I think it got a lot of hate. I think this is a general kind of situation with specking on TV series is that there's so much pressure on that character to pop because there's only 6 or 7 episodes. I feel like if there was a way to expand it to like 15 episodes, you could kind of mess up in those 2 or 3 episodes and then pick it back up on the 8th or 9th or 10th episode, and keep people watching. I think that's the biggest fundamental problem with these shows, is that there's not enough time for the characters to develop in like my consumption of watching TV shows, because there's not enough time for them to develop in general. Like, how the fuck are you gonna introduce a new character on the second to last episode of a season and expect people to gravitate towards that? But anyway, Fedora, your thoughts on this?
I thought it was I bought the omnibus of this Brian Bendis. It just came out not too long ago, and I bought it. It was a great story. It was a good show, but I think that like you said, like there wasn't a lot of episodes. So some of the episodes were boring, just mainly because they had to like over explain a bunch of shit just to like rush to the payoff.
Yeah.
And I think like when you put more episodes, you could kind of have more action, and you could spend less time explaining in a single episode, and you could kind of just spread it out. And I just kind of think that like it was a good show. I like Echo. I think she's a cool character. But I just think it was a combination of like people hating Phase 4 and not wanting to give the show a chance, even though I thought it was pretty good. I think Echo was probably one of the strongest shows of Phase 4 since like the Netflix series of like the street level heroes.
Yeah. I mean, that's not a bad take. I felt when I was watching the show, I got a little bit of those like grittier vibes from the Netflix shows of the past. And anyway, so
I think that you know, when you have like a really, really good story, I think the keys, people are always gonna want to pay top dollar for the key because it's a first appearance in a series written by a writer that's like, it's really memorable. So if you remember one of the, you know, the better series of Daredevil, you're gonna want to own the key. So I think the reason why it's staying strong, in my opinion, is because not because it's like a first appearance, but because it's a desired book in a series that's fucking amazing. So
right.
that's my take.
All right, maybe get some heat from. I got a couple Star Wars books coming up next, So I was a cheerleader for this character to come out for the MCU, and I think this is also like an example of like we are just like a community that wishes things that may never happen. And if you listen to that community, you can sometimes get burned. And I feel that, and Trev, you're probably going to hate me, but thanks for showing up. You guys, Trev is probably, I would say, top 3 nicest guys in comic books. You guys got to watch him on his Sunday show at 7:00. He's just a great dude. So, and give him a vote. The CBSI awards are up. We are nominated for an award. So vote for us if you want to. Forcing everybody. I think Black Crown is going to win. He has good stuff. But I think Trev, he got my vote on a couple nominations.
If you win, can you give the trophy to Pickels? Because he's like a neutral party.
I wouldn't. You know what? If I got a trophy in like anything, I wouldn't associate with Pickels, period, because that guy's a piece of shit and I fucking hate him.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, I think he should have it because
I'm just kidding. No, you guys know I love that guy.
He's the neutral party.
You should change your thumbnail, bro. Every time you should put CBC award nominated.
Oh yeah, it's all right, man. It's all right.
Into it. Fuck it. Being into it.
Maybe we'll see, man. We'll see. No.
If you win, for sure. If you win, you got to do a victory lap.
If I win, I'll strip on. I'll make Pickles strip for all the female watchers of the show.
Nice.
Which is 0.
Yeah, exactly.
But you never know.
You never know. So this is my feelings, and like, don't hate me on this, or you can hate me on this. Star Wars is at like this weird crossroads, right? Like they want to appease to the main like fans of the show, right? But I don't think they know how to do that.
No.
But they also want to appease this group that doesn't seem to really support the show. And that's just from the numbers. I'm not saying like whatever.
Right.
But
it's facts. Yeah. And
I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. I'm only a fan of the original trilogy. Like that's it. Everything else beyond that, like it's cool, but I don't put too much like, I guess, stock into it, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
I do.
And some people do, and that's totally cool.
Yeah.
I just like, I don't want to get it's like being a fan of the Mariners. I just don't want to get my heart broken over and over again. But
oh yeah, I know yeah.
I don't think this $1,000 and just stash it away into this book, hoping that she eventually makes it into the show or into the universe. I know they've taken characters from her like comic book series and put them into the shows and whatnot, but I just don't see when they're going to bring her into the fold,
no.
At least in the next 4 to 5 years. And so I'm very bearish on this book. I don't hate the book. I could not put $1,000 and just put it away for 5 years versus like, I don't know, I'm going to investments or whatever, but like rather than putting that into an S&P 500 fund. I don't know. That's just kind of my thought process with this book. I think it's a lot of like, and kind of harping back to like the community kind of like pumping this book up. We don't know shit. We don't know like when stuff's going to actually go into fruition. We don't know the insides about how much it's going to cost to cast this person or if they're going to put a specific show on it. We don't know shit. And I think that's why this book was pumped up so much personally from what I saw. Fellas, what are your guys' thoughts on this?
We'll never see this character in live action. I don't think. I thought that back then. I think if you're a collector of Star Wars books, this is a must-have, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I don't think any Star Wars book should be specced on, dude. Like even back then. Back then, it was the name of the game, right? At that time in the bubble, it was all about that. But even then, for this book, I don't. This book started out; it was all about rarity. I don't think anybody, I don't know the senses, and I don't know how the print run and all like, and anything like that. But I think this book you couldn't just get. Like once this book, I will always remember this book. I was leaving beautiful Los Angeles, California. I was like, I had already committed to this job, to this company out here, and I got back into comics in 2015 because Disney bought Star Wars. So I jumped on the bandwagon on all of this. Remember, I had 30 years out of the game, right? And so I'm looking at the wall, and this book is on there for $20. And I was like, oh wait, but this isn't the cover I have in my hand. And I asked the guy, well, what's the difference? What's that? And he was like, oh, that's a variant. That's a 1 in 25.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, can I look at it? I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I just gave it back and thought nothing of it, bro.
Sure.
And whatever. The rest is history. But yeah, I don't think we'll ever see this character. I'm not going to get into like a rant of Star Wars Disney because I could. I think that you should not spec on any Star Wars books. I think that's just dead speculation on all of it. I think right now, as you're a Star Wars fan, you just kind of want them to get their shit together. Yeah. This is a great character. Her first run, I read it, and to me, it was my favorite. Her and then the Vader run, the first Vader run, were great. But I just never, even back then, when everybody was specking on it, I never thought that you could see her because how are you going to see her? They're not even thinking of this character. That's just a comic book character. Where would they put her in the timeline? It would be, how old would she be now? Like in Rey's movie, if that's even going to get made. Like this character never made sense. It was a good character. Popped in the comics, got her own run, 2 runs, did well, sold well, and that's what it was. And that's,
I want to highlight this real quick. So I know there's a chance of any of these like guys, right, to show up, and you'll see another one that there's a chance for them to show up. But like 5 years to pay $1,000 for this book and sit on that and maybe make $500, I just don't think it's like good money to put forward at this time because, like Cody was saying, like Star Wars is just so like just weird. Like right now, we're at a crossroads, man. So I think buying stuff on the dip for Star Wars books to speculate on, it's also risky.
Yeah, I wouldn't advise
because there's so many fucking characters they could go with as well. They could totally say like F Afra or F the next guy we're going to talk about, and they're going to go with this new character they've introduced in a Dark Horse comic. So that's the other risk too. So
they have too many L's. They have too many failures to go back in a timeline where she would appear just to make a show of her. They couldn't even get the acolyte right. Okay, we could sit here and debate all their show on streamings, but what's the point?
Yeah, and again, my point, I'm gonna like pound into this is like the timeline of just like even within a year, that's a long time. Let alone 2 to 3 to 5 years, which is my assumption. If she ever made it, it'd be so much further along down the line because there's so many other characters. Fedora, what are your thoughts on this book?
I mean, I don't really have much of an input because I don't really know anything about Star Wars like that, but
that's cool.
I will say that this is like a super popular series that always sold out.
Yeah,
it's really good. It's a good series. It does have that. So
multiple prints.
Yeah. So my philosophy is always like, if anything is like a high seller, there's a good chance that they'll appear in a show in some way, shape, or form. And kind of like Star Wars is no different. It was like a really, I don't know anything about Star Wars, and even I know who Dr. Aphra is, not because of like I read the series, just because a lot of people talked about her. Even before I started working at Midtown Comics, that was like one of the highest sellers, and they ordered heavy on that book, and it always sold out. We don't even have anything on like back issues for like Darth Vader or anything.
Yeah, those are hard, dude. Those are hard. Now it's hard to find them.
The trades are always sold out. We're always like re-upping on them. I would say, like me personally, I wouldn't spec on anything Star Wars Dark Horse related outside of maybe like one or two characters, because that's always been something that I said. Like it's like the two characters from Star Wars that like I would spec on. Like if I had to like pick with my very, very limited knowledge, is probably Dr. Aphra and Darth Revan. Those are like the only two that like in the long run that there's a good chance it'll pay off. And like I'm not talking about those little bullshit characters that you're gonna sell for like 40-50 bucks when the fucking show comes out. I'm talking about like oh my god. All right, but thank you. Yeah. So
I mean, right in the middle of the Bronx.
But yeah. So,
oh my god. Fedora goes, oh my god.
Yo, bro, they're bad loud right now.
That's all good.
So it like there's two big characters. Like if you had to spec on anything,
hold that thought on the second guy. Talk about Aphra. Just you'll see why.
Aphra is a girl and she's hot. And
it was a Indiana Jones type.
Is that what she is?
Indiana Jones. It was great run, dude. That it was a great run, Brandon. It really was.
Yeah. I will say this.
Jones for Star Wars.
Female. That's why.
So she's like Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. With a hat.
Not only that, hold on. Not only that, bro. She can be a an anti-hero. What is it? Anti-hero.
Yeah.
She could toe the line of good and bad.
Yeah. Like so why don't they just get homegirl that did the Barbie movie? Get the writer, director.
Disney, bro. Disney. Look, dude.
I don't know.
Darth Plagueis is my favorite.
Point, man.
Darth Plagueis is my favorite character in Star Wars, and they ruined that. I wouldn't trust Star Wars right now with anything, but that's I think cinematically with Rey. At this point, that's why I would not spec on anything Star Wars.
But if I had to, Dr. Aphra for sure. Like if I had to, if somebody walked up to me right now on the streets of the Bronx and put a gun to my head and was like, "Yo, spec on two characters right now, or I'm gonna unalive you on this street," and then he gave me the money, and I had to go on eBay. It would be Darth Revan and Dr. Aphra. That's it. No other character in the Star Wars universe should matter to you. If you're really like bullish on Star Wars and you're like, oh man, I got a spec for whatever fucking crazy reason you have. This is why we do the show. This is why it's here. Dr. Aphra and Darth Revan. Like take it from me, like a person that's like not in the know, and a lot of my friends aren't in the know on Star Wars. Darth Revan is a character that comes up. So
he saw it.
Yeah. So that's it. That's if people who don't know shit about Star Wars know who Darth Revan is, then you should probably spec on that character.
Yeah.
If I don't know Star Wars like that, and I know Dr. Aphra just through people talking about it, that's a good chance. But all of these Marvel first appearance of fucking random smuggler issue 3 number 4. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion.
And here's the thing too, and kind of going over to the next slide, you'll see why about Revan. But this list is like our opinions as of today. Like, I'm just thinking, like, okay, if someone's to come to me, like, kind of same scenario with a gun to my head, and it said, like, if you had $1,000, what would you spec on? This is something definitely I wouldn't spec on, because it's going to take so much time for that. Because I've looked at the sales. This is consistently $1,000 for like a past year, honestly, in a 9.8.
And that's pretty solid. $1,000. That's pretty good.
Right. But like, my point is like, over a year, $1,000, that's not good if you're trying to get a return on investment. Right. And there's nothing in the near term that I can see from what information that we have, like public info, quote unquote, that's going to push that from 1,000 to 1,600.
No, right.
That's kind of my opinion.
I think the 1,000. I'm gonna be honest. I think that the 1,000 in a 9.8 of this book is fair, because I don't think, not knowing. See, I didn't know much. I was 2015. I was a noob. You know what I mean? So I wasn't. But what I know now, I don't know if there's many of these books out there, because I don't know. You'd have to been in the know to know this character was coming. It was a first appearance. This book has multiple prints in this issue, and it's very well possible that this 1 to 25 could have been somewhat underordered.
There's one more thing about this book too. Yeah, with CGC. It's a CGC conversation. So Fedora, you may want to, and then we'll go on to the next one.
Marvel Rub.
There is color rub, and CGC does give 9.8s on a color rub on this book.
Yeah.
So that's the other reason why I don't have a lot of faith in this book right now, because of time, right? And then the way it's graded with CGC, it's argumentative. And Mojo Quid, this is a good point. So Afra's only 33 years old at this time. The Mandalorian starts. There's still a chance for it to show up. I just don't see it happening for the investment you have to put into it in the next 1 to 2 years. That's too much money sitting around at 0% return. That's my point with a lot of these books as well. So I'll go on to the next one, but I just want to give a real quick shout out to the 12 Live that's kicking it with us on a Labor Day weekend. I was supposed earlier
to get a haircut. I didn't even know that.
Is it a holiday?
I was like, I'm gonna go do some shopping a little bit, and then I looked and I was like, 13:03. Oh shit, the show has started.
I thought you were working there, so that's my fault. That's why I didn't send you. Like, I don't want to bug you with that shit.
I don't know. Listen, I would have been in the FedEx uniform on the truck, like.
Man, you gotta stop at one of those New York famous hot dog little.
The Nathan hot dog
carts.
Yeah. I'm gonna plug Darth Lopez real quick though, but I was saying at the beginning of the show, and what we kind of alluded to was we're gonna do a show on Thursday, so it's a little different. It's all 100% Darth Lopez's creative genius.
My moment to shine, guys. Come on,
moment to shine. We're gonna do this Thursday, I believe, like 5:30 Pacific time. I'll do some kind of advertising for it and whatnot, but we're gonna have a little bit of fun with this comic drama going on. He's been in the lab, just kind of doing this this top 10 comic content beef.
Well,
he got the lightsaber.
Beef. You know what I mean? Just in case. You know what I mean?
Just in case. A little preview of what's going on Thursday. So
beef is a strong word. Beef. Look, fisticuffs.
It's not real beef. It's just the top 10 comic book disagreements.
There you go. Yeah, I like that.
There you go.
Hey, I like it. Hey, because these guys like literally went like. I love it. Like, look, just real quick. I'm a rocker first, right? Rock music is number one. But I am 48, so I'm from that era of the West Coast when we were at the height, and I love rap beef. Even with this whole Kendrick Lamar, it's just this. It's like the universe has aligned to where the landscape of the comic book community, they're just going at it with each other.
It's kind of funny.
It's like it all ran parallel, bro. Like I was enjoying my Pro Jam, the new album, and then I think then the rap beef started escalating. You know what I mean? And I'm like, it's just, and then the Cat Williams thing, so it's like everybody wants to get the shit off their chest. And again, these are heavyweights. I watch all of these guys, bro. Most of them. I watch most of them. I believe Tom Garcia is a Hall of Famer. Like if there was a Hall of Fame in the comic book community, I think some of these dudes are first ballot, and you could debate the rest, some of them. You know what I mean? And these guys have been going at it. Thank you. These guys have been going at it. You know what I mean? Let's just be real.
I wanna be a parody of Comic Tom, and I want to do name myself Comic Tom 202, and then I'm gonna do like top 10 comics not to buy, and then it's just his list. Like,
oh my god, that's fucking
that's great. But see, that's the thing. Like, right? We don't gotta. We could cut it short, but he gets a lot. But here's one thing about him, and if you're within the community and all that, he does not respond. Like, just remember that dude, bro. He just carries on, and much respect. And look, bro, I'll just say this, and we can move on. I learned a lot from that dude. Like when I came back, when I moved out here to the Midwest, and I got into the hobby, like, bro, I learned a lot from that dude. Now I may have not stayed with him for my own reasons, but that's besides the point. But to take away from what he's done in this comic book community, nah, bro, we can't. Just like some of these guys on here, you cannot argue against.
I do give to Comic Tom credit for, like, even when that whole beef was going on with the acetate and Gem Mint putting up that stupid video of him trying to like double down and call everybody haters.
That will be covered. Yes, sir. Yeah.
He tried to stay out of it, and I wouldn't even be surprised if he was the one who told him to delete it, because he ended up deleting it. So Comic Tom's a good guy. He means well, and obviously, like, he's a popular guy, and he's always gonna have people that wish that they had the level of success that he had, and they're gonna hate on what he does. Is he like a goofball? Yeah. Does his speculating suck? Yeah. But I mean, he just came in at the right time, and hats off to him. So that's just
wait, real quick. I haven't seen this guy in the chat in forever, and I love his freaking call sign, Bobby De La Ghetto. It is fucking awesome. Welcome to the chat, man. Thanks for coming through. But yeah, we'll have this little comic, whatever you want to call it, on Thursday.
Yeah, we'll discuss.
But damn, it's going to be hard for me to put in a vote. Listen, I'm voting.
No, you don't got to vote. Just just
let them cook. Just let them cook.
Let me cook
as observers.
Yeah, piggyback and whoever I mean, I don't know if you've seen. Well, there's a lot. There's Thorough and Mint. There's Bueller and McClay live. There's
the best one.
And then there's the guy that's the hottest guy right now, Sticky Icky.
Who the fuck is that?
Icky, as I call him, Sticky Icky. This guy came out, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, huh?
I don't know any comic book creators, content creators.
How you just said who?
Then I guess you gotta come up on Thursday and watch the show.
I don't know any of them. I don't know any.
This is 100% Darth Lopez's shtick.
Yeah. Yes. This is all me.
I didn't contribute anything to this, so I'm not gonna take any credit for it.
Right. No.
This is just as a member of what we do now. I wanted to give him some creative. What do you call it? Like some creative space, canvas. What do you want to call it?
Yeah.
This is 100% him. I'm just a bystander with this.
Roll with me and chime along. Again, I'm not bashing any of these dudes. I have my altercation.
I think it'd be cool. One of them just
have my altercation, and you damn right I'm gonna rank my altercation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm not bashing Thelm or that or none of these guys.
Doc Joe. F Nation gets my vote for Dick of the Year. Yeah, that guy sucks.
Oh, isn't that the dude that stole from my homeboys at Queen's Comic Party?
Yeah.
Yo,
Nemesis is always trolling him, man. I love it. Him.
I know what he
Shout out
looks
to Nemesis
like.
Prime.
I know what he looks like. So if he ever comes to the shop, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, Epic Nation. I'm letting the manager know that you're a known thief.
All
coming for you. Put this out there. Put this out there right now on the beef. Put this out there on the beef. Epic Nation. If I ever see you in the shop, I'm alerting a manager, and you will be tossed out because you're a thief.
You're tossed out. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So I told you guys to kind of hold up on the Knights of the Old Republic, Revan stuff, and this one was a tough one for me. I kind of went back and forth with this, but again, my thought process is it's going to take a long time for Star Wars to get their shit together. a good direction. They're probably working on it right now as we speak. I don't know with the information that we're given that's legitimate where the hell they're gonna go. So I love Darth Revan. I played the game. I think the one thing that holds this character up is the game being reissued in a modern format. So that's gonna help it out a little bit. I might bump it up a little bit, but if you're purely speculating on Darth Revan at $650 and a 9.8, you're gonna have to wait a really long time. I think if you asked me, would I rather spec on Dr. Aphra or Darth Revan? Just for the price point and the rarity of this book, I'd probably go with the Knights of the Old Republic #9 because we had the potential of the Star Wars stuff, right? 4 to 5 years down the road. However, there's a different community that knows of Darth Revan, which are gamers. And gamers don't know enough about comic books to really know like what it is. So that's where I'm a little bullish on it. But for 650, 9.8, man, like, and you're speculating on the appearance of him showing up in Star Wars with all the stuff we said on the previous slide, I just think it's just going to take too long to get that investment in. If you're a collector of Star Wars, though, that's not a bad price.
It's probably a book to have. Yeah. That's where I think
I would say 500 maybe as a collector, but 650 just there's not enough. There's not enough bread left on that.
Max 500.
I do think Darth Revan has a better chance of coming to the Star Wars than homegirl Aphra.
I'm gonna say after their, well, I don't know what. The Acolyte is what it is, right? But after they just botched Darth Plagueis, bro, I don't see Revan anytime soon. I never was a believer in
Aren't they doing something called the first Jedi or some shit like that? Somebody has to
who knows, bro? They cancel a lot of shit. Who knows?
Because I was talking to some guy because I was like, yo, I don't like Star Wars. I don't really fuck with Star Wars like that. I only maybe read one Star Wars comic like series. And then some guy was like, what would it take you to watch Star Wars? And I was like, I want a show so far in the past that like
yes, it did come out.
Like it's gonna be I just want it so far. Like there's not even lightsabers. Like that's what I want. I want like monks doing force.
Andor. But see, Andor is like a. Go ahead.
Andor, isn't that like 7 episodes of a dude in jail? That's what somebody told me.
But it's fantastic. But so it's like drama, right? We all, speaking of drama, we all love drama, and by drama I mean like, you know, theatrically in a show, long format, like flesh out. Andor was, bro, the damn near the best thing they've done.
Is there lightsabers in it?
No.
Like no. I'm talking about like lightsabers.
It's like espionage. Or it's like espionage. It's like the beginning of a little bit segment of the rebellion, bro. Like it bro, this actor, I think it's the dad of all the Skarsgårds, gives a speech. He's like, what have I sacrificed? I've sacrificed everything. That's how good that writing was to that show, in my opinion. That's the same guy who wrote Tony.
Okay. But do lightsabers exist in that universe?
Yeah, they do.
Right, then I'm off.
No, but it's not it's not Jedi. Jedis are done. They're gone. It's only the Sith, and they're on on something else. It's the beginning remnants of the rebellion, bro. It's like when the rebellion starts to form itself, right? Like you'd have to know like Mon Mothma and all that. You have to be a Star Wars nerd. I don't want to say nerd, but you know what I mean. You have to be in the know.
No, I got you. It sounds interesting.
But Revan,
I just want some like monk shit. Like I want some like these dudes just using force, like fucking kung fu karate style, and they wilding out, and they got like jetpacks and shit, like that. Like that's what I want to see. I just want to see something new, you know. And I feel like Star Wars has been like lightsabers and shit like that, and I'm like,
Doc Joe's like, fuck this list. I know, exactly. I know. Fuck this list.
Dude. Doc Joe's been around.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll get on to the last one. Again, just want to say thanks everyone for. We got a couple more. Sorry, never mind. But again, we're about an hour into the show. Just want to thank again everyone in the chat. You guys, it's been fun. And it's glad to be back. I'm glad to be back from my
Mexico, right?
Mexico. Catalina. I went to Reno for a couple days, barbecue off. That was pretty cool.
Catalina Island in California.
Yeah, you know what?
Yeah.
I thought Catalina for the longest time was like Mexico, and then like when I looked on the map, I was like, "What the fuck?
Yeah.
We're not even in San Diego yet." So,
yeah, you could have taken a boat to Southern California.
Shit, man, there was a condo there, 1.2 million, and it was like a 1-bedroom, 960 square foot, but it had a beautiful view, man. But yeah, that's crazy. Prices out there are nuts.
Oh, that's why I left.
Yeah, Avengers 196, first appearance of Taskmaster. $71 for a newsstand, 160 for a 9.4. To me, this is such confusing spec, even with the new show coming out. She didn't even talk in her first like show appearance in the show. So I'm over this one. People I think are still talking about, this book. What are you guys' thoughts on this? I mean, are you buying at $71 for a newsstand?
No.
You know what's so funny? We were putting up wall books at the shop. We were putting up the new books that we got in.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had first appearance of Taskmaster. Mm-hmm. And it was a near mint copy in a newsstand. Mm-hmm. And then one of my coworkers was like, "Oh, I bet this sells in a week. I bet this sells." And I'm like, mm-hmm. I don't know. It's still there. So
that tells you, man, right there. Yeah, no one's specking on this book. Darth, what are your thoughts on this book, man?
Yeah, I agree with Doc Joe. Buy this book because it's a badass book. It's just an Avengers. It's a key of a villain that actually not too long ago had some good. He was a beast in Venom, Thunderbolts. When it was Thunderbolts, it was Thunderbolts. It was him, Star. When Sentry got ripped in half. Remember when they ripped Sentry in half? I think whatever. I read him in that. It was Thunderbolts, and he's a little bit badass. He's a beast, but I think they killed off that character as far as spec wise in the MCU.
Yeah, it's too confusing for spec, but yeah.
Yeah, I think they just knocked off the character, dude.
I didn't mind that they made Taskmaster a girl. I think the problem with the character was that isn't like Taskmaster like a funny jokester, hee hee ha ha kind of dude. And
I don't know.
A little bit what I read. Like I said, I only read him in Thunderbolts, but I know this character, especially if you're an Avengers fan, carries some weight to him. Plus, he's a villain that crosses over with all the MCU heroes. You know what I mean? And the street heroes and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a dope character. I just really haven't. I only read him whenever he comes in the books that I'm reading.
I was buying the solo series, and I read him in something else.
I think I read him in Daredevil not too long ago.
I know Taskmaster's from the Bronx, so that's cool. But I also think that he's really like quirky and jokey, and he makes like a lot of jokes. And I think that they didn't want to kind of like toe that line in the movies because Deadpool already does that, right? So I
see like another one, yeah.
Yeah, so I could see why they would kind of like alter him, make him like a woman, and make him more serious in the show or the movie. But I think it had more to do with the Black Widow movie being unnecessary and being bad than it did with Taskmaster being a bad villain. Because I think it could have worked with what they had if the movie was good.
Sure. Yeah, that's a good point. I just when they introduced her, I was like, oh man, that fell short. But the cover's sick.
Right. And well, she gets another go round with Thunderbolts,
I guess.
Yeah.
I still wasn't bullish on this book for those prices. Yeah.
As a collector to having that character, but
well, this is the last book I have for the day. I actually ended up watching parts of Madam Web on the plane because I was bored, and it helped me sleep. So that's good. ASM 210. First Madam Web, $74 for a 9.4. I actually never hated this cover. Like when I was a kid, I thought it was a cool cover. The cartoon, Madam Web in the cartoon, right? I thought she was cool in the cartoon for me.
She was.
But I'm not mad at $74 for a 9.4. I'm just not speculating on this, obviously because the movie bombed. I didn't think it was that bad. I thought Dakota Fanning did a good job as an actress to play her, but I think it's confusing Spec again because they use a younger version of, to me, what should have been an older version of Madam Web. So,
well, how was Sydney Sweeney in it? Because I don't think she can act.
I only got in like 45 minutes into the movie. I got to finish it just because I want to finish it. She wasn't really in it up at that point. So, but from what they showed of her, I mean, yeah, you couldn't really tell. But Sydney Sweeney as Black Cat, I will try. And I'll talk to Cooper.
Visually,
Yeah.
visually, it will look well, but she cannot act, man. I'm no professional. Far from it, you know what I mean? Everything I've seen her in, she's just bland. It's like no range.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's the Sony stuff just really throws another wrench into it, kind of like the Star Wars stuff, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Are you guys speculating this at $74? Do you guys think that's a fair price?
And I think that book has always been like a dollar bin book and like a $5 book on eBay. And I think like this book is one of the, it's one of the, what do you call that? The cautious tales of the pandemic, where a book was $5 and it shoots up all the way to $50 because they announced a Madam Web movie. Like things like that aren't normal. And I would say like that book shouldn't even be worth what it is right now. Honestly, like if it wasn't worth already something with the Spider-Man the animated series show, which is what we grew up with and what we know,
that's what I remember.
That's a good point.
If that show didn't bump this book and make her like a character that millennials love, then it was never worth buying in the first place. So that was my whole thing. I was just like, what? Like, this is garbage. So
yeah. No, it's a good point, and that's kind of like what my thought process was with this book. And anyway, well, that's the show we have for the day. Again, I just want to say thanks everyone for your support. And again, we got nominated for a CBCS award.
I wrote it down. CBC award. You are
CBC award. Okay,
you are a CBC award content nominee.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and. If you guys want to vote, there's a lot of great contributors to all those awards. Trev, the shipping guru, is in there. So vote for him as well. If you want to vote for us, that'd be cool. I actually didn't vote for our channel. I voted for another one, Black Crown. I gave him some love, and they gave me some love yesterday on their live show on Sunday. If you guys don't know, I sold a pretty cool Sonic 98 for pretty good profit. I was pretty happy with it. I didn't know that the trailer was coming out this week, so I was like, "Oh, I want to get these on, before I get on the boat." And it just so happened that I got back, I landed back on on land, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is like going up pretty good." And I was pretty happy with the sale. Kind of tough one to let go of, but I have my favorite Sonic magazine first appearance, and I'm happy with that. So,
speaking of Sonic, I saw a sealed Sonic 2 for $500.
I kind of want to get the first appearance of Shadow in a video game. I have it on my watch list right now, but that's pretty cool though. It's like 145 CIB.
Really? You want to know how much I paid for mine?
Like $50.
I paid for mine 60 sealed.
Wow, that's a nice get.
And then I opened it.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, I mean, back then, like, sealed games weren't going for anything like that.
You never know. So, I mean, look at comic books today. So, that's our show. That's our show, fellas. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning out. We'll see Pickels next week. I'm gonna do a market report, maybe today or probably tomorrow. I just got a lot of stuff to catch up on. Y'all have a great weekend. Take care. Enjoy that Labor Day weekend.
Peace.